like as a kid, there was no YouTube in 1991.
Yeah,
You were going to see these games that you couldn't play as pictures, if nothing else. But then this show comes along, and it was fun just to watch, to see like footage of weird games you might not even play for systems you might not own. Now, who watched GamePro TV? Anybody? I'm getting a little too excited here. Sorry.
Like, wow, that's what Battletoads looks like in action. I
Yes,
gotta get that.
yes.
It blew my mind.
Yeah,
It's-
I only ever saw it on YouTube.
was
later.
more
I-
a Nick
so
Arcade
I
kids.
totally
See,
missed out.
given how popular video games were in the early '90s, and obviously it's really surprising that there weren't more TV shows dedicated to it. Because for a network like Nickelodeon or whatever, that's like pure gold, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
as a kid, I would watch anything to do with a video game.
Same here, regardless of the quality.
Nick
Hence,
Arcade,
Nick Arcade, yeah.
Video Challenge. I loved Video Challenge because that kid slid into the video thing and he could get any game he
I'm
wanted,
gonna correct
which
you.
was
I think you're thinking of Video Power.
Oh.
Video Power.
Yes.
See, I'm on a roll today.
No,
It's
it's
okay,
okay.
it's okay.
It all starts
Posted
to
by
blend together.
Shenmue.
I'm a worse person for knowing this. So please
So
continue.
Video Power. I thought it
Yes.
was Video Challenge.
Video
Video
Power
Power.
sounds right.
Kid
Yeah.
slides down. Is grabbing all the games. It's
Mhm.
like 10 copies of Basis Loaded 3 and is sticking it on his little vest or whatever. I'm like,
Velcro.
as a 10-year-old, I'm thinking, oh my god, that's
Yeah.
like Nirvana.
Yes, actually, the host of that show is more embarrassing than anything on GamePro TV.
Right.
But
I
he was
completely agree.
way amped on something. I don't know.
But that's like 3 shows, and 2 of those were game shows.
Right.
And only GamePro
Yeah.
TV actually talked about video games.
Right. I mean, they talked to kids, I guess, maybe in crazy 90s buzzwords, but I guess in the language that they were used to hearing. I mean, they treated games not as this like weird foreign concept, but actually like, they're more familiar. Because when I was a kid, I was always upset when sitcoms or movies like misportrayed games. Like they were playing like a game on Family Matters or some stupid sitcom, and then you'd hear like Atari Pac-Man noises coming out of the TV, and I'm like, that's not what a video game sounds like. And I knew this when I was 10, and it made me mad. That's why I'm a crazy person and I work here.
No, me too.
It outraged me completely to hear. see
Dear
that-
Family Matters, I know what doesn't matter: authenticity. Signed, a fan.
But yeah, underneath that cheesiness, they sort of understood that. Yeah, we all know what games are.
Yeah, and
We're
I
game
mean,
pros.
I think it was incredibly forward thinking to make a show about just purely about games. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no game show component of it like Video Power or Nick Arcade. It was just like, here's our magazine in TV form. There are letters, there are tips, there are reviews. Yeah, I mean, I like
It
GamePro TV.
speaks to the power of GamePro as a brand that it even got a TV show.
Yeah, just a few years
Mhm.
after the magazine started, really.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo Power obviously was number one for many years.
I don't know the background, but were they competing for a show, or did they happen to have a publisher who knew somebody and they just did it that way?
I'd
Like, I don't
say-
think that there was some.
Well, they got
TV
syndicated
company.
nationally.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I saw it.
Right,
it was,
but
it
most
was on after.
entertainment companies will like talk to each other.
So
it's not just
IDG
like they're like, oh,
but
we want
IDG
that.
is-
GamePro is awesome.
IDG is a print publication company first, so they don't really have anything in common with television. I mean, for the most part, they mostly do like database stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know why they would have a connection in the TV industry. I think that maybe they were approached, or they had a really good VP of marketing or whatever. It's interesting. Their VP of marketing of GamePro was partly responsible for the formation of E3. So
That's true. That's true. That's one of my factoids. Thank you for
Yeah.
telling us that.
thank you for stealing your factoid.
I had 3 factoids. No, that's okay.
So I wouldn't be shocked if they were just approached by a TV exec, or they had a really aggressive marketing department. Like, how can we expand the brand?
Yeah, and I don't know if this is gonna be fired or in trouble, but I don't think. Yeah, Matt's excited about this. I don't think video game programming on TV has advanced far beyond GamePro TV.
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
everything I've seen is just really embarrassing, and it's like I could read something more entertaining. I could watch somebody on YouTube that's more entertaining, and maybe it's because I haven't watched video game related programming in like 4 or 5 years. But I
know,
just okay. Sorry, Ray, go
The
ahead.
saddest thing is that the monopoly on video game TV shows has been from Canada.
Yeah.
Really,
Canada's made so many video game
I mean,
shows.
your options are basically Electric Playground and G4, right?
And even
Yeah.
before that, there's stuff like Video and Arcade Top 10
Like-
and Game
And the
Nation.
cameras are spinning around, like kind of going back and forth, and like a guy
Yeah.
is going into the camera and back out, and he's talking in a crazy voice, and it's like, this is
Right.
the year 2011. Why are you talking like this?
But,
So-
you know, to GamePro TV's credit, it was also well produced. And it's like, that
It was.
That, I mean, they had this set.
It was
An actual
professional.
set, and yeah.
Yeah, and also like JD Roth and often his friend Vernon Not Brennan,
Oh,
Brennan. They would enter the games via blue screen, and they just like mess around with stuff. I mean, it wasn't necessary, but it was fun and cute, and just like
Yeah.
they were obviously thinking like, how do we present this as more than
He was
just like
sitting right on the Mario pipe.
yeah, like he came out of it. It was awesome.
As
Yeah.
they're giving you game tips.
Yeah. And I think it was great that they thought of a way to present this material like beyond like what it has to be something beyond just showing video clips or whatever. Man, we were really just like this is like a tribute to GamePro TV more than anything.
Great tangent.
But I think
Great tangent.
and it's incredibly hilarious today to watch. Ironically, I mean, it's one of the funniest things, especially if you're a video game fan, and you hear things like crisp controls, and you're like, "What the hell, JD Roth? You're a fraud." Actually, I don't have this now, but I looked up what happened to Brennan Howard, and he became a film director, I think.
Nice.
What?
So I assume he dropped his fake Bill and Ted persona, or maybe he
Became
still
a
has
real
it.
person?
Yeah, he became a human being. And so yeah, any other thoughts on GamePro TV? I mean, I think it should be mentioned. It just seemed like an incredible piece of
Well,
entertainment.
it didn't last very long. I mean, it lasted,
true.
It lasted a year
They
on
got
TV.
rid of Brennan.
They did.
The year after that, they signed another deal, and then I think they tried to revive it in like 1998 or something like
That's
that.
true. Like it didn't last long. Maybe on a
Very
Sci-Fi
short-lived.
channel or something like that.
Yeah. It went to
Oh, that's
cable.
weird.
Or like originally, it started on. You could get it on Basic.
Oh.
What?
Sorry, it just sounds funny.
What? What? I don't know.
It sounded like Kat was boasting, I think. But
What?
please continue. Please continue. It's okay.
My
Well,
head
fun fact,
hurts.
we do still have all those GamePro TV VHSs and betas in the vault back
Yep.
at IUG.
You need to rescue those, Will.
We're trying to rescue a lot of things. We still
Yeah.
have the entire archive.
Uh-huh.
And we actually got episode 1, issue 1 sitting in here right now.
Cool.
Which looks really different.
It does. It does.
From the rest of the magazine. Matt was commenting how clean it looks. It's-
Just this copy. No one's touched it.
It's almost 100% ad copy, to be honest. Like, you read it, and there's no, like, opinion whatsoever.
There should be like a date at the top and then the PR person's signature at the bottom.
Pretty much.
Please enjoy this new game.
Like the Pro View of R-Type, for example, for Sega Master
Pro
System.
View.
It's just called a Pro View. It's like, it doesn't say anything except this is a game and it exists and
Yeah,
here's what it's like.
Yeah, a lot of it felt like proof of concept.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.
Reminds me a little bit of video games and computer entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
It's not bad looking given that it came out like 1989. It looks pretty professional.
Yeah.
It's not jam-packed with all kinds of stuff like the early to mid-90s ones were, so it's readable.
There's not like stickers and posters and holograms
Yep.
flying out in your face.
It has a
and, like,
preview of Super Mario Brothers 3.
Are there Pogs? Oh, that was pre-Pog. That was a
Oh,
pre-Pog
gosh.
world.
Pog was 1993 and
Yeah.
94 when you could get like Mega Man X Pogs from
I'm sure
Nintendo Power.
many a GamePro issue came with Pogs.
Oh, I have no doubt whatsoever.
So, let's talk with Will, Kat, and Ray about their experience at GamePro. Because, I mean, we've talked about, as readers, maybe as viewers of GamePro TV, but you guys actually worked there. Do you guys care to share any, like, experiences or memories or anything like that? I guess we are sort of utilizing GamePro in a way, so...
It's funny how many GamePro alums are still kicking around the industry. And then you'll just run into some PR guy who's like 40 something. He's like, yeah, I was working for GamePro in '89 back when it was still in like Redwood City. And I'm like, whoa. And
Yeah.
just like, and they would tell all kinds of, unfortunately none of their stories come to mind, but it must have just been so different to work in the industry at that time, and I'm really curious about it. But it feels like you are part of. There was a bit of history to actually working there. It wasn't completely isolated, even though we were going in kind of a new direction compared to the past. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was trolling Craigslist when I was a sophomore in college, and saw an internship, and went in there. When I interviewed, I walked in like, wow, there's Major Mike's office, like Major Mike the Fraud.
Hey, that's another guy. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
only could think of Scary
Wait a minute,
Larry.
was that when they were here? Because
Yeah, on the first floor. down
Okay.
at the 501 Second. They'd
Gotcha.
recently moved from Oakland, I believe. But yeah, I walked in and it was just it blew my mind. It was a dream come true. It was only 4 years ago, mind you, but it was still
Yeah.
incredibly cool for somebody that was still was approaching it as a fan and hadn't yet become hardened and jaded by meeting embargoes.
What was the first time you saw like the crack in the glass? You're like, oh, I'm not a fan anymore.
Oh no, I'm still a fan. I still love old GamePro. I still cherish the people and the memories. I think it's just a matter of outgrowing old cartoony avatars and exploding heads to a degree.
Yeah.
I was reading an old issue of the magazine, and it talked about like the winners of the Blockbuster championships back in the mid '90s, coming down to San Mateo, where the GamePro offices were at the time, and trying out like various Virtual Boy games and like giving their opinions on them and everything. And I'm thinking, man, I wouldn't know what to do if a bunch of kids came into the GamePro offices now, because I'm like looking around.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hide
how
all
do you?
the bad things they shouldn't
Let's
see.
take them down to the vault. Well, we're down in this like elevator shaft or whatever.
Asbestos-filled corridor.
You're right.
Kids don't breathe in too deeply.
Precisely.
Watch your arm. That's rusty.
I actually remember going to the E for All Expo in 2008.
That's right. Care to
Lordy.
tell us remind us what that was?
It was IDG's answer to E3, essentially, which is why it was E4 All.
I get it.
And,
I get it.
Yeah, it was mostly just demos that were readily available with like 1 or 2 games you couldn't pretty much get by going into a GameStop.
And this was in that strange, maybe 2-year period where E3 disappeared.
I mean, it was, yeah, it was around that time.
Okay.
And it was mostly, I mean, it was still a lot of fun. It was a lot of people in costumes walking around and having a pretty good time. But it was scarcely populated compared to PAX, even PAX Via 2000, whatever. But
Ray, GamePro thoughts, memories, or the airing of grievances. Like I said, it's Festivus season, so it's perfectly fine.
No, I don't really know what to say, really. Again, I was only there for like 90 days. So I don't really know what to say.